Hey, welcome back to High Five Garage. Welcome back. On today's video, I think we are going to be getting this motor onto a engine stand, which I don't have a VW engine stand, so I can make it work with a regular engine stand, and then start taking apart the heads to see how really bad they are. Since we can't use those heads because they are 2.0 heads, they are not 1.7 heads, we can't use them, so I need to make all the heads work. And as parts arrive, piston rings, seals, stuff like that, we will be cleaning and assembling this motor. Hopefully they'll get here soon. Oh yeah, I did buy a exhaust in town, a complete exhaust. A guy was amazing to still have this intact, and this is exactly what we needed. We got OEM heater boxes, muffler, both headers, all the U's. We just need to get some pipes to hook them up to the bus in the back, and then also make sure that the front apron works with it. But this was a lifesaver. I had to go back in a forum, or back in a post, ended up seeing it, the guy still had them. So as I said, I don't actually have a VW like adapter to put it on an engine stand. I need to buy one, but I don't have one. So I'm just gonna adapt just a regular Harbor Freight or any engine stand to a VW motor. The tops work fine. Okay, so I've got, first of all, I've got the diagonals going up, flats on the bottom. The tops will work just fine. They slip past that little lip and they fit pretty well. Find some bolts that work. I think I'll cut this one down and then I'll have this just as a Volkswagen thing. I'll center it up later, but what you need to do is the rest of the arms won't fit, or like they won't work. They're too long of arms. So I'm going to adjust this so that first of all, I marked 8 1/4, 2 spots, 8 1/4 between. That's what those are. And then once those are drilled out, I'll put screws through them, or bolts through them, and then level it out, and then that will be my mount. You'll have to put some spacers here, but that's how I'm going to do this. And then bingo bango, you got yourself a VW engine stand. Get those tightened up, or get the tops tightened up first so you know how it sits, and then you can make spacers so that it's even all the way around, or measure, whatever, it doesn't really matter. Then you can tighten everything up. Yes, it's not center on the motor itself, but you know, I don't know, there's a cam down there, there's a lot of stuff, and it's just empty on top, so weight wise I bet it's pretty close. Once you find the correct spacers and tighten everything up, bam, you have a homemade engine stand for a Volkswagen with stuff that you already had, and you didn't have to buy one, because you know, you use these for everything from any 4-cylinder to any 6-cylinder to any, well, the 8-cylinder's outside, but you get it. Just always make sure that it clears this lip. Of course, if you're keeping the flywheel and clutch and stuff on, which you can just easily take it off, but if you're keeping it on, of course, just space everything out. Get more washers, sometimes I get some stock almost the same size as this and cut it down, and then just space it out. As long as you got the bolts and they're tight, yeah, you'll be fine. This ain't no big old Chevy or anything, it's just a little VW motor. And now that you got your motor mounted on an engine stand, you have plenty of room to do more VW stuff. That's much better. Now it's time to rebuild these heads. These are the ones that came off the motor, not the extras that I had. I already kind of explained that. But these need a deep cleaning, whether it's inside the ports, whether it's springs and, you know, retainers, whether it's the outsides, and of course where the valves are and inside the actual combustion chamber area. So they just need a full cleaning. I'm going to start by taking them outside and getting all the loose dirt off of them right away, just so when I'm handling them they're not as bad, and then we'll actually start getting into tearing them apart. Use eye protection, ear protection, all the protection, and I'm gonna start with a wire wheel and just take it easy across the whole thing and hopefully get most of it off. and continue until you are happy with the results. I still got a lot to go. That's good enough now for that head. Obviously still got to do that one. I can do kind of a final clean when I put them on the car, or right before I put them back on the motor, but that will work for now. Next step is to get all the buildup out of the combustion area things. I'm not sure what they're actually called. I'm probably right. And that's, I'm just going to scrape all this stuff up and then maybe wire wheel it a little bit. You don't want to damage any of this, you know, seating area. And then also, once I take the valves out, of course, you don't want to mess up where those seat as well, whether it's on the valve or on the head. So I ended up just putting some purple power inside the actual chamber itself and just letting it sit for a little bit. And like, considering that comes out purple and that looks like that, I'm hopeful that it, well, did its job. First of all, get that full strength purple power and just put it into your area, because damn, cleans them up pretty good. But we've ran into an issue, because as I was cleaning them, I noticed all of these dings, tons of them. I mean, the metal's even like warped out. But then you look at the pistons, which these are the pistons out of that cylinder, and they're not crazy. They're not, like, I understand aluminum is softer than steel, I get it, but there should be, if there was a dang bolt in here, it would destroy, I mean, it would mess up the piston too. Let me get these pistons clean and then we'll see what we got going on. I'm going to put a little bit of purple power in this jug, just about the height of the lower of the piston. I hope this fits in there with the pin out. Darn it! Give me a second. And then set it inside of there for a little bit and let it get clean. Okay, this piston's been in here for probably 30 minutes. Bam. Okay. And I'm just gonna twisty a little bit. Twisty. Yeah, a little bit better. I'm gonna put the other piston in there and see where this one goes. So I ended up, just really quick, being very gentle with a wire wheel. And I mean, there's almost nothing wrong with this piston. I don't understand how it can come from a head that looks like that. Let's get this piston cleaned up and then we'll start cleaning this head. And oh yeah, I already cleaned the outside, by the way. Nice and clean, just gotta wipe it down. But I'll put some purple power in the chamber and do a time lapse on it so you guys can see. Obviously that didn't work as planned, because this is the head that was open in the rotation of the motor that it's been sitting in for who knows how long. And so these valves were open with water going through them and stuff like that, especially this one. And when I poured the purple power in, it just drained right through. Some of it, I mean, obviously way better even for the amount of time it was just sitting there. That one, it was amazing how it just sat there and just ate everything up. Both pistons are now clean. That goes to the driver's side head, not the one that was open and corroded, but to the driver's side one, the one with all the stuff in it. Looks like a bolt got up in there. But I mean, the pistons, a little bit of stuff there. Of course it's not going to focus, but a little bit of stuff there. That looks like pinging. And then this one, I mean, same thing, just little things on the outsides. I don't know. It's because these motors are, whoever built these motors, yeah. And now we wait for parts and tools. Okay, another day and more VW stuff, more bug stuff, more bus stuff. I got a tool from Harbor Freight really quick to take the valves out of the heads, see what condition they're in, see if they're straight, see why they're leaking. Tools like 50 bucks, and I'll use that on plenty of vehicles. It's kind of a, you know, hooks over. So let me get that unpackaged. I'll show it to you. Cool. So here's the tool. Looks like it comes with 2 different size heads to go onto the valve springs, and then this side just goes onto the valve. So let me get placed. I'll show you really quick, and then we'll do a little time lapse taking all the little valves out. So you get the tool set up on the bottom of the valve, and then the top going around the spring and the retainer. And what I did was loosen it until I could just close that on it. So I just held it and then slowly tighten this until, or like add more until I could clamp it and it could get loose. Yeah, it looks like I might need a little bit more. Can't get those collets out yet, so let me get a little bit more. Okay, added a little bit more tension, and then hopefully get the little collet retainy thingies out. Bam, there's one. I like to loosen them up, then get a magnet. Bam, 2. Do not lose those. They like to disappear. Okay, and then you just loosen it. Go very slow. Okay, the valve might drop out the bottom, so be careful. Okay, doesn't seem like it's going to, which is good. Okay. Then take the spring and retainer top. I don't know, I'm not thinking today, but take that out. Okay, and then you grab the valve, pull the valve out. Ooh, that's gunky. Holy moly. Oh, there we go. Okay, just took a little bit. All right, and then take the valve out. That is nasty. I like to make a little diagram of how the head sits, which head it is, and then lay out everything. Being organized, good, so that they go back in their correct spot. Okay, let me do that to all of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, the heads are completely taken apart. Right away, I can see that this head, now that I've got room, 3713, this one's a 3710. I'm not sure what the differences are, but, you know, could be passenger, driver, or there may be different heads. Being that, you know, this one's got the little holes right here that go into the actual port. The other difference is if you look, all of these are about the same height. These ones are missing, or they're pushed down. So not sure what's going on there as well. As far as where the valve seals, this is the head that sealed, even though it had the damage. Seems like they're pretty good. This is the side that was open and got water in it. Hopefully, because it's aluminum, and I don't think they're inserts. They might be, they might not. I can just really quick lap them and bring them back to life. That's what I'm hoping, but I won't know until I get into it and start cleaning and, well, trying it. Another thing I'm gonna do is gently put all of the valves into a drill and see if they're bent, see if anything's wrong with them. Yeah. All right, so get a drill, preferably a new one that is in very good condition. Clean out inside where it chucks, and then grab a valve, put it as far in as you can, tighten it. Not too tight, don't be crazy. And then I noticed if you go slow, it looks like it's warped. I don't know if I can actually show that, but almost looks like it's warped. But you give it full speed, you can see that it is smooth. I did that to all of the valves. Once again, all the way in, tighten it up, give it full speed, and you can see if there is any wobble in the valve. So somehow, with all of this going on, none of those got hit. It's kind of a weird situation. Not sure what to think about it. But knowing that the valves are good, now it's to the point where we need them to seal. We knew this one sealed. I still want to really quick reseal them just to make sure they are good. I'll show how to do that. We know this side did not seal. So I'm gonna start cleaning everything up. I mean, it could just be deposits from stuff getting in there and not sealing them correctly. And then clean all the valves, relap where they sit. I've got a technique for that. And then see if we can get everything refreshed, working. And I'll decide what I'm gonna do with this. To clean up the valves, same technique. I like to put them in a drill. Get a scuff pad, scotch pad, whatever you think. Don't get anything too rough. I don't know. And then I should probably cut this down a little bit smaller. And then just gently and you'll start to see it cleans it up. You can do it on okay. I'll probably get maybe a little bit of oil up in here. Oiling stuff never hurts. Okay. Yep. Already you can see how much better that valve looks. You can probably do it to the bottom as well, where it actually is in the chamber. Oh, piece of metal. Time for another time lapse. Let's get all the valves cleaned up. Yeah. Okay, after a little bit of time, everything is clean for now. This was the head that had the ding in the cylinder head, and they seem like they're all savable. I think once they're lapped, they'll be really good. But then you go over to the head that was open, it had corrosion in it. You can see that there is corrosion on the valves, which is unfortunate. So those two will definitely need to be replaced. As far as the other ones, doesn't seem too bad. I don't know what side that is. I think those are exhaust. I think the small ones are exhaust and these are intake, I think. But these will definitely need to be replaced. And yeah, but besides that, I think the rest will work. Still got to clean the springs and retainers. Hey, Turbo, you want to help? You want to help? Okay, you got to help. Clean those springs. No? You just want the head rubs? Okay. All right, now we are going to see what condition the head is in. I'm going to do some cleaning up. Right away, you can already tell the difference. This one I hit with a very soft wire wheel, a more aggressive wire wheel on the inside, and then I also used, these are used for porting. You can get them at Harbor Freight or whatever. They're just little sanding things you can put on a Dremel or a drill. And not that I'm porting this out, but it helps clean up the inside real nice. So I still need to do that one, of course. But that, compared to that, big difference. And I'm definitely not done. There's plenty more to do. This was the head that was left open. Water was getting through it, pistons on the head, inside the jugs. And so far, valve seats are in pretty good shape. Once I really quick reseal the valves on them, I honestly think this head is going to be a-okay. That one cleaned up pretty good as well. I am going to get more of those little sanding Dremel thingies. It'll help me clean up the rest of the ports and stuff like that. I started to do it, but that's the only one I got, and it's pretty messed up. And then also I could probably clean up the bowl a little bit more as well. So I just took a valve out of these 2.0 heads, which I'm starting to think they might not even be 2.0 heads. They might actually be 1.7 heads that were milled out. Because all this is just so fresh, but the valve is identical. Okay, so I need to go get stuff for lapping the valves, and I need to get some more of these so I can finish cleaning them up, and then we will continue. That's what I'm pretty much gonna do. I'm gonna use one of these to clean up this head and just see how it comes out. And then I'll know if we're gonna use it or we're not. By the way, I looked up the number on the spare heads and it matches the 1.7 heads. So these are actually 1.7 heads bored out to 2.0. If anyone wants them. Hey! Let me know. All right. I got the things we need. Whole box of little sanding things. Some grinding compound for the valves. This is a different kind that I normally haven't used, but I'll give it a try. I also ordered everything to complete the heads. I decided all new valve guides, 2 new valves, 2 new intake valves for that head. It's the one, I don't know. They were bad. That's the ones that had the corrosion on it. Did order a few seals to complete the motor once we start putting everything back together. But while we wait for that stuff to come in, might as well as get the heads ready for all of that. Hey, welcome back to High Five Garage.